Okay. So question 2b asks, what is the 100th letter in this pattern? As you can see, this pattern is simply has strings of ABCs where the first time each letter repeats once, then it just goes twice and 3 times. And then you could write this by the number of terms as 3 plus 6 plus 9 ... that are all multiples of 3. And to find the 100th letter, let's just say before the 100th letter, there's already some repetitions of ABCs. We just have to count how many are there. So to do that, suppose the last repetition after that, before the 100th term, it'll be each letter repeats. Let's call it k times. So then the sum of the series of this pattern would be 3 plus all the way to 3n. And that, using our arithmetic sequence formula, is 3n plus 3 times n over 3, since there are n terms, and n over 2. And that's the greatest that's less than, or let's say less than 100. So then you should solve this equation to get the maximum value of n. For this one, you have to do some guessing and checking. Can someone tell me what's the greatest value of n?
Wait, for like the parentheses part, do you mean 3 parentheses n plus 3, or 3 parentheses n and then parentheses plus 3?
Oh, I meant 3n plus 3 together. I didn't draw it that well. It should be this.
Wait. So are we supposed to first divide by 3?
We're not dividing by, you can do that to solve. That's an approach. Or you could just solve like this, plugging in and guessing and checking which values of n work. Or you could divide by 3. And if you notice, if you divide by 3, you'll actually get it it was a sum formula, the arithmetic sum formula for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for that series. That's another approach to solving the problem. If you look at each as block of 1 and block of 2, then count how many blocks times 3. In this case, it would be then this serious, but that would not be just less than 100, but it has to be less than 100 over 3, since each bracket has 3 terms.
Okay, so I think we need to make an estimate of 100 over 3.
Yeah.
So 100 over 3 is 33.3 repeated, and I think we can round it to the nearest ones, so it would just be 33.
Yeah. This is about 33.
And I guess the only way we can do is actually n times n plus 1 is going to be like less than 66 if we multiply by 2.
Yeah, you could also multiply by 2 to get
But we still need some guessing and checking, because let's find what number n would get us to 66 or greater than 66. Because then we would know like what numbers after those numbers work.
Yeah. Actually, now I believe the greatest value of n is 7. That's integer. So less than or equal to 7. Since if you have n equals 8, that'll be bigger. So then, and calculate and how many are there from, then you could count, plugging it in back to this equation. When n is equal to 7, you'll get that it's 3 times 4 times 7, which you just factor out of 3, and then n plus 1 is 8 divided by 2, which is 4, and then 7 is from this end. And that's 28 times 3, which is 84. So then there's 100 minus 84 is 16. So there's 16 more terms. And in the 8th block of terms, each letter repeats 8 times. So then it'll be then 8 A's, and then 8 B's, and that's 16 terms. So then the last B in the 8th block is the 100th term. So it's B.
I think I overcounted one. I went to see.
Oh, yeah. That's still, at least you got the sense, which is good.
Well, thank you for telling me how to do this problem.
No problem. Yeah, now I'll pass it on to Charlotte.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go over what we're doing today. So hold on, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so this week's topic is going to be percentages, ratios, rates, and proportions. So first we're going to go over percentages. So this is a chart that would be pretty helpful, and it translates the words to the math symbol. So what number? It would stand for X as the math symbol, and it means an unknown symbol. Is equal to equal sign, and it means it's equals to something. And then of is a multiplication sign. So I'm gonna look at a few problems here. So these are just some basic problems. So I'm going to go over the example. So what number is 25% of 1,696? So this question is in this form. So this form can be written as into this math form. So what we can see here is in this situation, C is equal to 25 and B is equal to 1,696. So you can write into this form X over 1,169 is equal to C 25 over 100. And then this also shows that this can also be translated into, we're solving for X, which is 25 over 100 times 1696. And if you calculate that, you'll get that X equals 424. Okay, so this is another common question. 12 is what percent of 20? So A is what percent of B? So in this situation, we can write into this form. So A is going to be 12. 12 equals X over 100 times 20. And here we can solve this equation. So we'll get 12 equals X over 5, multiply both sides by 5, and you'll get X equals 60. And this is the last example. So it's A is C percent of what number? So 3 is 0.4% of what number? So once again, we can plug those numbers into this equation. A is 3, so we'll have 3 equals 0.4 over 100 X, and we're solving for X. So here we can just solve the equation. And when you solve, you should get 750, I believe. Okay, so now I'm going to do some percent problems. So the first question, Erica has saved $63 towards the purchase of a $300 camera. What percent of the total price has she saved? So
I think it's 63 over 300, which can be simplified into 21 over 100, so 21%.
yeah, so she saved 63 and the total is 300. And if you divide both numerator and denominator by 3, you'll get 21 over 100. And that means that the answer is 21%. Okay. A store advertises everything is half price. In addition, a coupon gives a 30% discount on sale prices. With a coupon, the price represents what percentage discount off the original price. So I'll give you a few minutes to try it.
Wait, is it 60%?
Close. Do you want me to explain it right now? Or do you want to try it again?
I can try it again.
Okay. If anyone else has an answer, you can chat it to me and I'll look at it.
Wait, I know now.
Okay, you can chat your answer to me.
Wait a minute.
Okay, so I want to explain it now. So first we can do the first discount, half price. So it would be 50%. So let's say the original price is X. That means after the first discount, the price is going to be 0.5x. Then there's a 30% discount. And 30% discount means that it will be 70% of the original because 100 minus 30 is 70. So now it's going to be 0.7 of it, which is going to equal to 0.35. Oops. It's going to be, so the final price is going to be 0.35x. And the original is going to be 1x minus 0.35x, and you'll get 0.65 discount, which is 65%.
Wait, what is X again?
X is the original price before the discounts.
Okay.
Okay, the last question in this section, it's kind of hard, but you can try it. I'll explain it later. So how many liters, what?
Why does 0.35 become 65%?
Because the sale price is going to be 0.35 of the, is going to be 35% of the original price,
Oh,
and it's asking for the discount.
I get.
Okay, so last question here. How many liters of a 20% alcohol solution must be added to 90 liters of a 50% alcohol solution to form a 45% solution? So it's a bit hard, so you guys can try and I'll explain later.
I don't really get this problem.
Okay, so I'll explain it. Does anyone else want some more time to try it? Okay, so I'll explain it. So let's say X is the amount of liters of the 20% solution. So we want to form a 45% solution. So that means we can first find the total of the amount of solution combined. So that would be 90 plus X, because 90 is the amount of 30% solution, and then plus X, the amount of the 20%. So so this is the percent of it. So you multiply it by 90 plus X. And over here on the right side, we want to find the amount of alcohol solution in it. So first, we know that it would be 20% of X, because that's how much alcohol is in that solution. So it would be 0.2 X. And then we add the amount of alcohol in the other solution, the 50% solution, and 50% of 90 is 45. So we'll have this equation. So you guys can solve it and then tell me what you get as the solution. Yeah, so the answer is 18. So when you solve it, you get X equals 18 liters.
Wait, I'm still solving.
Okay, go ahead, solving it.
Wait, I still don't really understand how it is 18 liters.
Okay, so first we have to write this equation. So 90, first we have this part here. So 90 plus X. 90 plus X is the total amount of solution, like total of it. So that would be 90 plus X, the number of liters of the 20%. And then you would multiply, you want to find how much of it is alcohol, which is going to be on the right side. So 45% of all of it is going to be the amount of alcohol in it. So over here we have 45 over 100. On this side, we have to find the amount of alcohol in it. So 20% of the 20% solution, obviously, and then 50% of the 90-liter solution. Of the 50% of the 90 liters, which is going to be 45. And then you solve the equation. Do you want me to show you how to solve it? Yeah, so.
Can you tell me?
Okay, so first you want to expand this left side. So we'll get, over here we divide, we can get 9/20, you simplify that. So 9/20 times 90, we can cancel out the 10 from them, and we'll get 81/2 plus 9/20 x equals, over here, I'll just put it as fractions. I'm going to give it the same denominator as this. 4/20 x plus 45. And over here, you'll get 1/4 x if you subtract 4/20 from both sides. And if you subtract 81/2 from both sides, you can calculate it. You'll get 9/2. And if you multiply both sides by 4, you'll get x equals 18. Okay, so is it okay for me to move on to the next problem?
Yes.
Okay, so the next part is ratios. And ratios are used to compare two or more numbers. And these are the forms that the ratios can be written in. So it's A colon B, A divided by B, A over B, and A slash B. So here are some of the properties. So if two terms are multiplied by the same number D, the ratio does not change. So over here we see we have A, the ratio of A and B. Multiply A by D and B by D, and they're still going to be equal. So here's an example. The ratio of 3 to 7. Multiply both by 5, and you'll still get the same ratio. And the same thing applies to dividing it. So we have here 10 to 15. And if we divide both by 5, we'll get 2 to 3. So it's still equal. So here are some problems. So in a group of 72 students, if the ratio of boys to girls is 5 to 3, how many boys are in the group? So you can try it. Okay, so I'm going to explain it now. So there's 72, there's 7, hold on. So there's 72 students, and the ratio is 5 to 3. So what we can first do is, we'll see here that 5 plus 3 is 8. So the ratio of the total number of people there to the amount of boys to the amount of girls is 8 to 5 to 3. So what we want to do here is we can find the ratio of the total number of students to boys. So 8 over 5 equals to 72 over X will be the amount of boys there. And from that first property, you can multiply 8 by 9 to get 72, and you can multiply 5 by 9 to get 45. So you'll get x equals 45. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next question. A certain paint color is created by mixing 3 parts of red with every 5 parts of blue. How many gallons of red paint are needed to mix 40 gallons of this color? So you can chat me the answer if you got it. Okay, so I want to explain it now. So you can do it basically the same as the previous. So the amount of the total to compared to the number of red paint is 8. 3 plus 5 to 3. So we'll have 8 over 3 equals 40 over x. And x is the amount of red paint. So like before, we can multiply the numerator and denominator by 5. And we'll get 3 times 5 equals 15. Okay, this is going to be the last question. If the degree measures of the angle of a convex quadrilateral are in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, by how many degrees does the measure of the largest angle expected exceed the measure of the smallest angle?
Wait, what does convex mean again?
Convex means that like all of the angles, all of the interior angles are less than 180. So I'm just gonna sketch a quick example. So this would be a convex quadrilateral. Meanwhile, one like this isn't, because this angle over here is greater than 180. Okay, so I want to explain it now. So you already got the right answer. So I want to explain it. So the sum of the angles in a quadrilateral always adds up to 360. So we want to find the measure of the largest angle and the measure of the smallest angle. So what we can do is we have 6. So 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 equals 18. So okay. We'll have 3 over 18 times 360. And then that will get 60. And we can do the same with this over here. 6 over 18 times 360 equals 120. 120 minus 60 equals 60. Okay, now we're going to go over rates. So rate is a ratio used to compare two numbers of different units. And if the second term of the ratio is 1, the rate is called a unit rate. So so here, one example, 100 miles in 2 hours. Well, I want to find, so currently the ratio is 100 to 2, and the unit rate is if the right side is 1, so divide both sides by 2, you'll get 50 to 1, which means the unit rate is 50 miles per hour. Okay, next one. So a car gets 27 miles per gallon. How many miles will it go on 9 gallons of gas? So it's pretty easy. You can chat me the answer once you do it. Oh, sorry. Yes, Yo-Yo. Okay, so I'm going to explain it. So so this one's pretty easy. If it goes 27 miles per gallon and there's 9 gallons, then it would be 27 times 9, which equals 243 miles. Okay, the last one is a bit tricky, but I think you guys can do it. So machine A can fill 1 box of nails in 6 minutes. Machine B can fill 1 box of nails in 9 minutes. They started to work at the same time and they stopped also at the same time. In total, they filled 100 boxes. How many were filled by machine A? Okay, so I'm gonna explain it now.
Wait,
Yeah.
can you wait just a moment because I'm almost done.
Okay.
Wait. I started with adding 1/6 and 1/9, but then I got 5/18, so I did 100 times 5 over 18, but now I have 250 divided by 9. How is that possible?
Okay, so I'm gonna explain it. So I'm gonna use a slightly different way. So machine A can fill 1 box of nails in 6 minutes. If you multiply both by 3, you'll get 3 in 18 minutes. For machine B, it can fill 1 box of nails in 9 minutes. Multiply both by 2, you'll get 2 boxes in 18 minutes. That means the ratio of how fast they work is 3 to 2. So now we're gonna
Oh, I get it now. We do 100 divided by 5, which is going to be 20, and then 3 times 20 equals 60.
Yeah, so we'll have 3 over 5 equals x over 100. Multiply this both by 20, you'll get x equals 60. Okay, so the last part is going to be proportions, and proportions are pretty helpful for like ratio and rate problems. So a proportion is an equation of 2 ratios. So for example, A over B equals C over D. If you know the value of A, then if you know, you can find the value of A if you know what B is, if you know what the other 3 are, or if you know what B is in the value of C over D. So here are some properties. So A over B equals C over D. It is equivalent to A times D equals, and it is equal to B times C. A over C equals B over D. D over B equals C over A, and B over A equals D over C. So for example, over here, 8 over 6 equals 4 over 3. And then 8 times 3 equals 4 times 6, which is 24. 8 over 4 equals 6 over 3, which is 2. 3 over 6 equals 4 over 8, which is 1/2. And 6 over 8 equals 3 over 4, which is 3/4. This is another property. If A over B equals C over D, then A plus B over B equals C plus D over D. And A minus B over B equals C minus D over D. So 21 over 7 equals 30 over 10, which both equals 3. So if we add 7 to the numerator, we'll get 28 over 7. If we add 10 to the numerator of 30 over 10, we'll get 40 over 10. And they both equal to 4. And the same thing applies to subtracting 7 and subtracting 10. And if you simplify it, you'll get 2. Okay, so the last property is if A over B equals C over D, then A plus B over A minus B equals C plus D over C minus D. So 21 over 7 equals 30 over 10. If you add 7 to the numerator and subtract 7, you have 21 plus 7 on the numerator, and then subtract 7 in the denominator, you'll get 28 over 14 equals 2. And then 30 plus 10, we have 30 plus 10 over 30 minus 10, which is equal to 40 over 20, which equals 2. Okay, so here are the last two problems. If refreshments cost $45 for 18 people, at the same rate, how much would refreshments cost for 52 people?
Wait, can you give me a moment?
Or what did you say? Okay, yes, I already got a few answers, so I want to explain it.
Is it 130?
Yes. So
Oops, I accidentally put an explanation.
So we're getting rid of proportion here. So the ratio of 45 over 18. X will be how much the refreshments would cost. So it would be X over 52. And over here from this, we see that A over B equals C over D. It means AD equals BC, just cross multiplication. So we get 45 times 5 over 2 equals 18x. And then you divide both sides by 18, you'll get x equals 45 times 52 over 18. Simplify that, and you'll get x equals 130. Okay, the next one, the ratio of length to width of a rectangular room is 4/3, and the width is 8 and 7/10. What is the length?
I'm almost done.
Okay.
Can I leave it as an improper fraction?
Yeah. Yeah, you got it right. You just didn't simplify it completely. So I'm going to explain it right now. So the width here, we can first convert this into improper fraction. So the length over width, the ratio is 4 over a third equals x is the length over 87 over 10. Cross multiplying, you'll get 87. Let me calculate this.
Is it 50 over 5?
Yeah. So yeah. So we'll get 174 over 5 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3 and you'll get x equals 58 over 5. Okay, so last question. If the cost of a pizza is directly proportional to its area and the cost of a pizza 16 inches in diameter is $6, what should a pizza 9 inches in diameter cost?
Wait, I don't really understand what you mean by if the cost of a pizza is directly proportional to its area and the cost of the pizza 15 inches in diameter is $6.
Okay, so I'll explain the question actually. So the ratio of the pizza to the cost is equal. So we can find the areas of the pizza. So if the diameter is 15 inches in diameter, the area would be pi 1/4. Wait. So it would be pi times 15/2 squared over the cost 6 equals the area of the other pizza. All right. Over x. So we simplify, we'll get 6 pi times 9 squared times 1/4 equals x pi times 15 squared over 4, which is 15 squared times 1/4. So I wrote it out like this because now we can cancel out some terms. So we can cancel out the pi and cancel out the 1/4. So we'll be left with 225x equals 9 squared is 81. 81 times 6 equals 486. And you divide 486 by 225 and you'll get 2.16. So okay, so does anyone have any questions?
Wait, so for rates, we're going to write them. Couldn't we cross multiply for this one?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh.
We could have also eliminated the fractions in pi in the beginning. We over here can multiply, we can divide both sides by pi to cancel out the pi, and then multiply both sides by 4 to get rid of the fractions.
Or we can like multiply both sides by 6x.
Oh yeah, that would also work. And you would get this equation over here.
Wait,
Okay, so
I don't.
what do you say?
I said I don't see the next problem unless we're doing the Kahoot now.
Yeah, so
I have to leave right now.
okay, bye then. So does anyone want to like still do the Kahoot because it's kind of like over time?
Thank you for teaching me.
Thanks for coming. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna do the Kahoot today because we're a bit over time. So bye everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.